Hi everybody, this is my first video outside my traditional room where I shoot my videos, subject videos usually. So I'm really glad that I'm talking to you today, and thank you all for your support, the support which you provide for my videos, the number of subscribers, the viewership, everything. So thanks for all your support, and today I would like to share a few important aspects pertaining to our education system. I know I'm not so experienced to talk about this particular topic, but having gone through this system for the last maybe 15 or 20 years right from my schooling, I had a lot of experiences, and right now I myself being a teacher have my own opinion regarding the current education system and the current standards that we see right now in our country. And there are few positives and at the same time plenty of negatives, so which are really influencing our education system. So as a teacher, I interact with many students every day, and the most common opinion which I often hear from students is that dentistry is failing, we don't have any future in dentistry, and lot of negativity. I see a lot of negativity brimming in our profession per se, not just from students but also from the most senior practitioners and also many academicians as well. So what's really happening? So I would like to share my opinion and also try to get back some feedback from you, either through social media or offline when you meet me. Let's have some positive discussion and hope to work out on possible solutions to various problems we face in our profession, right? And before that, how is our education system really in general, not just dentistry? I was recently watching a video of Dr. Jayaprakash Narayan, Lok Satta Party president and a former IAS officer, a civil servant. He was talking regarding a survey called PISA, PISA, it's Program for International Students Assessment. So there is a survey called PISA way back in 2010. Usually this survey is conducted in all developed countries, right? Only in developed countries to assess their educational standards or standards of education in their pertaining or in their country per se. So in 2010, so even India and other developing countries also participated in this survey. So there were around 74 countries in this survey, and the main aim of this survey, as I said, is to assess the standards of education. And they have a questionnaire, and this questionnaire or the participants of the survey are students aged between 12 to 15 years, maybe pre-high school, or those in the range of 7 to 8 standards or 9 standards. And the questionnaire included the following elements: first, comprehension; second, simple logic; and third, simple arithmetic. So these were the basic elements of the questionnaire. And after calibrating the results of the survey, out of 74 countries, including developed countries like US, Scandinavian countries, etc., where do you expect our country to be? Top 1 or last? We have this corporate culture even in our education system, not just healthcare but also education system. We have numerous schools, colleges by names of so and so techno, e-techno, IIT coaching, etc., right? So where do we expect our standards to be? Maybe in top 5 or even top 10. It wouldn't be an exaggeration if we assume our position to be in top 10 or top 5 in the survey. But the reality is we stood 73rd of 74 countries. This was in 2010. And we should thank a country by name Kyrgyzstan, because it stood 74th, or else we would have been the last country in the entire survey. Isn't that disturbing to listen? So this is a surprising fact, right? The survey and the results. But even more surprising is the fact that Dr. JP was saying, and I quote, the government responded to this survey by saying that from next year onwards, they wouldn't take part in this survey. Is this the kind of response we expect from our government? Or should we take it up as a challenge and try to improve the standards of our education system? And even more shocking fact is Do you know who came first in this survey? It's not US, it's not any Scandinavian country, not Australia, UK, but it's China. China is number one. So what's exactly happening? I'm not talking anything new now. We all know everything, right? We all know the standards, how it's going to be. But this survey is just a tip of an iceberg of what's really happening in our country in regard to education system. We are conditioned in such a way that we believe that marks are the only criteria to evaluate a performance. Isn't that nonsense? Does marks really translate our true performance every time? Does it really happen all the time? Are the marks only criteria? Or do we need any other standards of measurement in order to evaluate the standards of education in our country? We believe that only marks are important, right? Only ranks matter. Using those ranks, corporate colleges exploit parents and also students, gather more money, create a kind of nonsense, degrade the profession, degrade our education system per se, and create a set of fools. Sorry for calling this, but this is what's happening. Create fools who have no jobs, no future, and these people, if they have money, the so-called fools who come out of this system, if they have money, they spend that money, gain some degrees, and then they start dictating terms. And even I discuss the same in my classes. I interact with my students discussing or raising these issues, and when I talk to them, when I try to analyze the performance of students, I more or less find the same scenario. The focus is only on marks, getting good percentages, but ignoring the very fact of education, that is understanding the reality. So what is really the purpose of education? That's the central point of this entire discussion. So is it to earn more money, or is it to gain knowledge, or is it to help others, or is it to identify the problems existing in society and trying to get some sort of solutions and trying to be part of solution rather than being a troubleshooter, right? So what is the real purpose of education? In my opinion, and based on the inputs which I get, I clearly understand one thing. The true purpose of education is to understand the problems existing in that particular area of society and trying to solve those problems by either contributing to solution or by coming with some kind of innovative ideas and trying to be part of solution rather than being a part of any problem. So it's like being a troubleshooter rather than being a troublemaker. But unfortunately, everyone coming out of this system is being plundered, and the particular person who is coming through this system is frustrated in the process and is again contributing to the problem, either by staying away from the problem or by not contributing in any way to the solutions to the existing problems. And as I was telling you previously, when I was discussing these issues with my students, I find very strange answers often. In fact, they're strange, but that's true. That's what people usually think. Most of my students, or most of dental students, as far as my opinion is concerned, or as far as my observation is concerned, they come here because they have missed MBBS or a medical seat, or they come here for the sake of a decent degree, or they come here for the sake of earning money. That's fine, money is essential, I'm not against that, but the only sole purpose is to earn money. And few come for the sake of getting good matches. That's true. It's not the students, but their parents think in that way. So if we have this kind of orientation, how is our profession really going to shine? And I personally seen more than 70 to 80% of any batch getting out of profession and settling in other professions. So they say there is a lot of saturation or there is no opportunity. That's true. That's really true. The future seems to be bleak, but it's not. If you are really determined, focused, and if you really understand the essence of what you're doing, you know, dentistry is not just a science, it's also an art. So if you are skillful enough, you can create employment, but we need enthusiastic, young, dynamic dentists who are really willing to come forward with commitment, determination, and show or create a new path wherein we can really create lot many opportunities to the existing students within our profession, or they can even explore newer options or career options in other countries, be it US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, or Middle East, right? So I do agree with the fact that there are many challenges facing us. Our profession has numerous challenges, but that's not the end. It doesn't end that way. We need to find out solutions. You, me, every one of us should be part of solution rather than being part of problem. So my advice to all young enthusiastic dentists, budding dentists, students is, don't get depressed. There is really nothing to get depressed. Stay focused, be sincere in what you're doing, learn your basics thoroughly, graduate yourself successfully, and if you are doing masters, you'll have plenty of opportunities comparatively in academics as well as on clinical side. You can explore newer options, you can come up with new innovative ideas, and most importantly, don't lose hope and always be confident and optimistic. Optimism is the single most important quality which really changes the life of any person. And the reason why I quoted the survey is to just highlight the problem which we are all facing, right? We are in this system, we are living in this society, right? So we just can't ignore these facts and run away. We need to find solutions to the existing problems we are facing. We need more and more budding, young, enthusiastic, determined dentists to come forward and get the best possible solutions to any problem we face, and nothing is impossible. So dear students, marks are not the only criteria. Percentages doesn't matter. It's all about your attitude. The most important thing we all consider is to be the attitude of any person. Attitude or your talent gets you to certain level, that's it. But how you use that, how you behave, and what you do with that attitude really matters the most. And this is the reason why I started this online project of Proud to be Dentist way back when I was in my final year BDS in 2011 Jan 19. The concept is the same. The central idea is the same. Everyone talks negatively, so negatively about our profession, and I felt like I wanted to do something in order to contribute some kind of positivity. I really didn't knew what I had to do at that time. Many people started mocking me. Why do you call our profession so great? All nonsense. I had to hear a lot of nonsense at that particular point of time. And the reason why I started is this: to counteract negativity to some extent. That's from my side. I'm not saying that I can do everything to counter and I have all the solutions. That's not the idea here. The idea is to create a kind of positive atmosphere among all budding dentists, so that it's like an open platform for everyone. Everyone is welcome on that, and they can share their ideas. We can have some kind of group discussions, and that has been going on for the past 6 or 7 years, and now right now we have around 25,000 members in the group Proud to be Dentist on Facebook or WhatsApp. We have around 6 to 7 WhatsApp groups with a lot of discussion going on, anything pertaining to dentistry, in order to create some kind of positivity among those who are in the profession, right? That's really more important, because what message we are giving to the future dentist really matters the most, right? And with this same central idea, I started my YouTube channel, MDS Entrance Lectures by my name, and there are open videos, open access to everyone in any part of the world. And because teaching has been my passion always, I love teaching. I love my students. I don't know why, but I have this tendency to enjoy my job of teaching. So I consider teaching as my passion, and I keep on telling my students the same thing, because passion is something which is really very important, because everyone needs to identify their own passion. That's very, very important, because most of us don't know what we like, really. We never think for ourselves. We just assume that okay, he is doing something, let me do it, or she is doing something, let me do it, or our seniors have done it, so let's do it. So it's not that way. So once you come to a certain stage, you'll understand few aspects once based on your observation of society, and you'll know what you exactly like. Everyone has their own passion. How do you identify your passion? The moment you think of something, if for example, I'm just taking me as an example, if I know the fact that I'm going to teach some group of students in the next 1 hour, or maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I feel really excited because I just love the job of teaching. And for that sake, since I love it, I make sure that I give some kind of quality teaching. So I refer various books, journals, articles, etc., and try to understand the subject in detail so that I can simplify the subject to my students. And in process of reciprocation, they understand my subject. I hope they understand my subject. They answer my queries, and that in turn really gives me a sense of satisfaction. So once they receive my teaching well, I get that sense of satisfaction, that I call it as job satisfaction, and that's sufficient in my life to keep me happy. So ultimately we all need happiness, right? So how do we get happiness? By doing things which we are really passionate about. So just identify your passions, go ahead. There are all psychological barriers. There are no real physical barriers in our society. So all that we have, all that we see negativity, that's all psychological barrier. Just keep this in mind, identify your passions, go after your passion, and I'm sure you'll lead a happy life, right? And thank you so much for watching this video. All the very best.